Hello everybody, it's Akai Storm again, and I just had to go ahead and record this entire thing again because it was not recording on my first attempt! Anyways, I'm not depressed about that. Hi guys! Okay, so this video is basically just going to be a follow-up to a video I made almost 2 years ago at this point. It was actually fan art of Atari at the time, who I don't even think Atari makes videos anymore, which is kind of sad now that I think about it. The video, if you want to watch it, is Chasing is Bad, obviously in parenthesis, and it says, here's why. So, basically, what a lot of people did for this video was go ahead, read the title, open the video, watch for like maybe a minute, and then comment. Welcome to YouTube. Don't fucking do that, you fucking dumbass. Because I had so much to say in that video just for people to go ahead and come and say, well, I'm an 11-year-old who traces because I'm learning anatomy. And basically what I'm here to say is basically to tell you that I did not say that tracing was actually that bad throughout the entire fucking video. What that means is that I wanted to basically say, hey, you guys shouldn't rely on tracing as like a crutch for the rest of your life because it can absolutely stunt your growth. But at the same time, in the same video, I was saying how I, as a child, yes, when I was a child at one point, believe it or not. Wow, that's not funny. I would trace as a child all the time. It was something that I did because I did not know how to draw, and I just really wanted to copy my favorite mangas and draw like them. I actually did a lot of tracing of Fullmetal Alchemist, Case Closed, those how to draw anime books as a kid, all those things. I would basically trace them all the time because it was fun and I like to learn how to draw, and I wanted to draw my favorite characters or make up my own characters and put them in the universe by drawing them in the style of these artists that I really appreciated. The one thing that I wanted to discourage artists from in that video is taking that work, posting it online, and basically saying, hey, yeah, I drew this, no reference, no nothing, without any sort of credit to the material that they either referenced or directly traced from, which is a big no-no. That was the whole point of the video. I do also wish to say that at the same time, around the time that I had made this video, I had also made a video where I was drawing rose quartz, basically showing you guys how to trace and drawing to redline it. I used a reference stock image. I redlined it. Basically, it means you take a red color, you lower the opacity of the drawing, and trace over it and mark out the basic anatomy lines. That way you can know where to draw. And I showed a whole video on how to do this and how it's one of the best ways, at least for me as an artist, to use references. And then after you redline it, get rid of the original picture, look at the red line, redraw the red line, don't trace over the red line, redraw the red line on another canvas, and essentially use that redraw as your base for your sketch. And that is a very useful way to use the drawings to teach yourself how to properly draw certain anatomy poses, and overall it does really help you out to learn. I made a whole video on that, and the fact that people still went in my comments to say I was a jerk or dumb for essentially saying that you shouldn't post art online and claim it as your own when it's not yours, because they didn't bother to actually watch the video. Which, why am I surprised? It's YouTube. Welcome to YouTube, Link. You're just stupid and 500 years behind. But I always am. It's whatever. I just want to go over a few comments that I had. So we're going to go off Paradise of Darkness, who responded 2 years ago. I'm not going to say the full thing, it's too long. I'm not going to put the comments in the video either because I'm not that good at editing yet. Cut me some slack. Did you ask? This person decided to go to the PK Russell route, which, if you don't know what the fuck PK Russell did, he did some BS arguing. You shouldn't credit anyone. You shouldn't credit anything. And this artist basically said, did you ask for written permission from Atari to draw this character? Are you claiming under the defense of fair use to steal her character legally to make fan art or gift of for Atari in your own creative way? I agree tracing is a wonderful practice if done right, but to just straight out saying that all of it is bad is incorrect and discouraging. I can copy your art style without your permission, but I'm not going to post it online because it's for learning. I'm going to go ahead and say, go ahead, copy my art style. I don't care. I don't think I have an art style, to be honest. I don't think art style theft is a thing either. I will go ahead and say that right off the bat. Art style theft is not a thing. If you are chasing someone's art, that's a thing. If you're chasing if you're copying someone's quote-unquote style, that's not really a thing. It's okay to be inspired by art. I'm not going to get into that. That's not the point of this video. However, this person was saying that I had gone ahead throughout the video saying that all of it is bad. That is not correct. What I was saying, I guess I didn't get my point across correctly. It was like 2 years ago. I think I'm better at wording things now, hopefully. I was trying to say that if you use it as a crutch, if you constantly trace without trying to learn how to draw something on your own, that can be seen as a crutch, and it can be very difficult to break the habit of tracing if it's all you do. Absolutely do I think tracing is a wonderful way to learn how to draw. I did it. My friends did it. I know plenty of people who did it. Hell, when I was a kid, I fucking traced it, and the one thing I wanted to avoid for kids to do was to do the stupid shit that I did. Essentially, I'm just going to explain what I did was when I was in, I want to say, late elementary school, early middle school, I had a DeviantArt art, which, God forbid, I can't remember the name of now. But I traced art. I posted it without any sort of credit. And yeah, you're going to say, oh, that's stupid. Why the hell would you do that? Well, I was a stupid kid. And basically, I was almost immediately called out on it, and it was because it was one of my favorite artists who I just really wanted to imitate, but I didn't know how to imitate at the time, so I just traced it. No credit. Got called out immediately. Here was my 11-year-old solution. I apologized to everyone, I freaked out, and then I deleted my whole account. Which is probably not the best way to react to things. However, as a kid, I didn't really know how to handle it. I think now, if I did some shit like that as an adult, I would be able to suck it up and apologize and move on. Basically, if you post things online that are not yours and try to claim it as yours, it's not okay to do. And the climate of the internet now, you will get torn apart to pieces for doing something like that. As a kid, the internet wasn't as hungry for drama as it is now. Back then, there weren't as many big artists out there jumping on people for tracing and such. But nowadays, if you're caught tracing and you don't address it, you don't credit anyone, you don't even try to mention it, you'll be hounded. And my main goal was just to help artists avoid that. I don't want people to go through the pain of fucking crying at 3 a.m. because they traced online and now the whole internet's bullying them. My point of the video was to please avoid it if you can, because people on the internet are fucking cruel. First off. Second off, it's not fair or okay for the artist that you're tracing from, because it can absolutely ruin an artist's career. If they're working on joining an animation studio or working on trying to be a comic book artist, they will have a portfolio, and if their employers look them up and find their art online under someone else's name, they're not going to be like, oh, look, somebody was reposting your art. They're going to probably assume the worst, jump on your case and be like, oh, you stole this art, so we're going to fire you, or we're going to not hire you because we saw it somewhere else online. And that can be devastating to an artist's career, which is why the biggest thing is I very kindly tell people, please avoid it. It's not okay. It can ruin an artist's career before it even starts. And it's very difficult for someone to move past that in the artist field because you don't get that many chances for interviews, and you could have ruined their once in a lifetime chance. My main point was to avoid it. Not that tracing is evil and you're a bad, terrible person or a terrible artist because you do it. I believe tracing is a very good way to learn, but posting it online and claiming it as your own is so detrimental to the artist that you're stealing from. And in the long run, if it's all you do, if you don't make any of your own art and all you do is trace, that stunts your own growth because it makes it very difficult to learn to draw your own poses and to try to branch out from what you do. I would only discourage it to people who do it constantly. If you do it once in a while to learn anatomy and you don't post it online, or you post it online with a credit to the stock image, please don't trace other people's art. It's much better to trace like photography to learn better anatomy. So if you're gonna trace and post it online and credit it, please do not do it with original people's art. Please trace like stock images or photography and credit that. It would be very great, very nice to the people, and it's not as damaging to them as it is to trace someone else's physical artwork. I traced a lot, and it really did help me. I feel like I wouldn't have gotten to the point of art nowadays if I hadn't traced mangas, if I hadn't traced those how to draw books, if I hadn't traced my favorite artists online, I probably wouldn't have gotten to the point that I am now. But it's not okay to try to claim things as your own, and I don't want kids to be run off the internet crying and afraid to ever join the internet again because they made a mistake as a child. The internetscape is very scary, and I just wanted people to know to be safe out there. That was just kind of the whole point of the video, and people are commenting not having watched the video. I don't have a lot of time left, but we're gonna go over one more comment. Let's see. Just because you trace doesn't mean you're not an artist. Trace is not copying. You can post tracing yet not take credit. I'm sick of people who thinks tracing is not art. You don't even need to ask to trace. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I never said you're not an artist if you trace. I said that, I'm saying it now, I don't know if I said it in the video. I'm saying now that it's very difficult to get better at art if all you do is trace, but you're still an artist, you're still trying. Anyone of any skill level can be considered an artist, and I believe that from the bottom of my heart. You can be any skill level and be considered an artist. I refuse to tell someone that they're not an artist just because they're a newbie who's still learning. And as for the you don't need to ask to trace, if you're tracing someone's artwork, I would, unless it's from like a manga or comic or like cartoon, I would ask the artists you find online drawing it before you do any of that. I would absolutely ask first, but I mostly recommend copying actual anatomy pictures or stock images to learn anatomy, because learning based off that is not the best way, especially as someone who does anime art. I know it's not the best way to learn anatomy, so it's definitely something I would advise against. Anyways, the best way to conclude this video is just say I absolutely do believe that tracing art can be beneficial to learning how to draw. I did it myself. However, I just advise artists not to use it as a crutch and to rely on it forever, because it can be damaging and it can be very difficult to get out of that habit. I just want people to be able to learn how to draw and have a lot of fun without worrying about being called out on the internet for a mistake they made when they were younger and didn't know any better. I generally think that if you trace and you're young, it's okay. If you're new to art, you're an adult and you're tracing, that's okay. Just keep learning, keep chugging along, and it's really not that bad. I think I'm going to make another video like I did my rose quartz video to show a really good way to trace to use references. And yeah, I just wanted to make a video saying I don't think tracing is bad. I did tracing. I know people who traced and are amazing artists now. Please, don't twist my words, and please watch videos before you comment on them. Thanks. Anyways, car storm out. I'm gonna go finish up my commission that I need to work on because I went out to vote today. And didn't get around to finishing the commission. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching.